Greetings, Pokemon fans. Welcome back to JD's Nerdverse. My name is JD, and today we are doing a prediction video for Politoed. This is the optimized version of Politoed. I'm going to play through Pokemon Crystal with Politoed. We've already done it once, so if you haven't seen the video, it aired last Friday. I recommend you go check it out. This is the optimized version where we can change the Pokemon subtly, and we know a little bit about where the Pokemon's going to struggle, and we can prepare for everything, even skip over some battles, whatever it takes some time. So, without further ado, we're going to dive over to this is the website. It is bulbapedia.bulbagarden.net/wiki/Politoed. You can look at this. It'll show you the stats for every generation of this Pokemon. So it is a mono water type. The way you would get this in the game is it evolves from Poliwhirl being traded holding a King's Rock. Now, we can't really do that because we're playing in an emulator, but we're going through the order of the Pokédex. In the Pokédex, it just has this Pokemon, so we're playing through with it fully evolved. And today we're predicting what we can do to make it a better Pokemon than what it was in my playthrough I did Friday. Mono water type, we have a good growth rate, medium, slow. So we'll grow at a good rate and we'll level up, probably over level early to be honest, because that's the way the game is. So that's its evolutionary line there, and as we scroll down, we're not going to read any of those things, but we will go over the stats of this Pokemon real quick and then we'll dive into where the changes come. So stats cannot be modified. The only thing we can modify with stats is IVs. So if you don't know in the game, there's, I think it's IVs and EVs. Basically what it is you start off with in every cat you can get a maximum of 15 per stat, and we're going to max those out with this Pokemon. You can modify them and get like a different hidden power. This Pokemon does not need that. Usually hidden power ice or fire or even flying is a good option, but for this Pokemon we don't need to do that. It has enough moveset and enough diversity in that moveset that we don't have to modify. So we're going to go with our stats of 90 HP, 75 attack, 75 defense, 90 special attack, 100 special defense, and 70 speed for a grand total of 500 base stat total. Very good stats across the board, very good distribution. I've always said this in Generation 1, there's a thing called stat variance. Where is the best stat and where's the worst, and how big of a gap there. So 30 is not bad at all. That means there's very good balance with this Pokemon. So let's go and look at the move set. Now, we're not going to look at Generation whatever it is, we're going to look at Generation 2. Generation 2, we started last week's playthrough with Water Gun, Hypnosis, Double Slap, and Parasong. We're going to take care of 2 of these moves and get rid of them completely. We'll go over the TM moveset here in a second, but what we're doing this week is we're modifying. So we got a breeding move we can get, which means what I go off is, could we physically have this move in a game? Could that happen? Yes. We could, with breeding, you could actually end up with Bubble Beam as a starting move with this Pokemon. Now there's other options here, Haze, Mind Reader, Mist, and Splash is not even an option at all. I don't even consider that an option. But Bubble Beam is a more powerful version of Water Gun. Water Gun is 40 base power, I believe. Yeah, 40 base power, and this is 65. So almost 100 base power move. Very helpful, very useful. And then we can nab a move from our previous evolution. So we're just gonna nab Body Slam. We could have done Belly Drum. There's a trade-off. So Body Slam will help immediately in the game, but eventually, before even like halfway through the game, it'll probably be phased out. Whereas Belly Drum, we can get it now. It's not really useful now. We have decent enough moves now, but it'll be a move later. So I opted to keep with Body Slam. Body Slam will help get through the early part of the game quicker, and we really didn't struggle late in the late game, so I don't really think we need that. I just want to try to speed up the process in the early part of the game. There was some other ones you can get from Transfer from Another Generation, but I decided not to do that. I decided to just go with Body Slam. That will replace Parasong. Parasong is the most worthless move in a solo playthrough. What it does, it basically starts a timer, and everyone who's on the battlefield gets knocked out in 4 turns. It's not useful at all in a solo playthrough. And then the other move we're going to get rid of is Water Gun. We're going to put in Bubble Beam. We probably could have put in it over Double Slap and just had an extra water move just for more power points, but I think that's the best route to go. So that's one thing we're doing, and the other thing is optimization. So we did pretty good on our previous playthrough. It was like an hour and 40 some minutes, but we want to beat this game in under an hour, and we want to beat Red in under an hour as well. So I think what's going to happen is, one, we're definitely not going to have to face Bellsprout Tower. I think we'll get to a good enough level then, and we're just going to have to avoid as many battles as possible. We don't need to over-level. There's enough mandatory battles in the game that'll get us through. We don't need to over-level. And we also got to prepare. Whenever we face certain gym leaders, we have to be prepared. For example, we face Morty, you might want to go grab the Mint Berry real quick. Because Morty, we're going to one-shot all of his Pokemon except one, and that's the Gengar. And he's going to go for Hypnosis and then do Dream Eater. And if we get put to sleep, that could be lights out and we have a reset. So we don't want that to happen. Similar thing with Chuck. I would rather get confused. That's fine because it's not going to do too much damage to us. But being put to sleep sucks, and then that's another one I'm worried about. So we don't want to leave those battles a chance. We're going to cover our butts more or less, and that's pretty much really the biggest ones we have to worry about in the game. When we get to the Elite Four, we don't have anything great against Bruno, but Bruno doesn't have anything great against us either. So that's not bad. We're going to obliterate Will. We're going to obliterate Karen's going to be a pretty easy win. Lance is going to be a pretty easy win. It says Bruno's going to be a little bit tricky. Koga won't be that tricky. If we get double team, that's possible. But there's really not a lot of places we're going to have trouble. It's just about getting through certain parts faster and how can we optimize that. And in doing so, we have to end up at the end of the game at a good enough level to beat Red in 1 or 2 tries. That's what the hope is. So I think with what I've figured out and optimized with this Pokemon, the early part of the game, we'll be able to get through Faulkner in about 5 minutes. And we're going to pick up so much time I not have to do a couple things like Bellsprout Tower, like skipping over a lot of battles, things like that. That's it. Let me go over the TM moveset real quick just so you guys know that this Pokemon does have a very broad TM moveset. Dynamic Punch will be very helpful against Red. It's something that's very useful against his Snorlax and possibly even his Blastoise to confuse him if it hits. It's very low accuracy, but it's very powerful, and it does the job when it hits. It's a boom or bust move. It's an all-in boom or bust move. Headbutt we'll add as soon as we can. It's better than Double Slap, and I don't think we're going to use Hypnosis very long in this playthrough. It's not like we can put things to sleep and set up. It's just put things to sleep and beat them when we're going to have a lot of one-shot ability. Curse, Toxic, Rock Smash not going to use. Hidden Power is not going to be used in this playthrough. I could not find a way to use it. The only thing I could think of is possibly Hidden Power Flying. Then that drops a couple of our stats down, so I'm like, you know what? They don't have anything great against us, so we're just gonna roll with it and see what happens. So we're not gonna use Hidden Power Flying at all. We're not gonna use Hidden Power at all, but we're not gonna use Flying. We're just gonna stick it with maxed out IVs, and Hidden Power Dark is what it ends up being. We're not even gonna use the move. Snore, Blizzard, Hyper Beam, Icy Wind. All these moves don't change from the last one, so I'll just go over them briefly. Protect, Rain Dance, Endure, Frustration. Not gonna use Earthquake. Great move, 100% accurate. It really counters one of our weaknesses. We are Water type. So Grass and Electric are our weaknesses. So this counters the Electric type very well. Return, good physical move that'll hit just about anything except for a Ghost. Psychic, not going to use Mud Slap, might be used for like 5 minutes. Double Team, not going to use Ice Punch, is the other move that counters our weakness. We are weak to Grass. This will counter our weakness. Combine this with a move we get later called Ice Beam via the Tutor. We have 2 good ice moves that are 100% accurate. One's 75 base power, one's 95. Very good moves that are going to counter the Grass type and Flying type that we have to face in this game. Swagger, Sleep Talk, Detect, Defense Curl, Rest, Attract, Thief, Strength, Whirlpool, Waterfall won't use, but Surf will be used. It's really overpowered for water Pokemon in this game. They get Surf, a 95 plus stab. It's like 140 plus base power move. They get that move like literally after the 3rd gym and before the 4th gym. It's amazing. And with this Pokemon, it's going to be a one-shot on every one of the Pokemon in that gym except for one, and that is Gengar, and you just have to survive a Hypnosis or it misses and you two-shot the thing. Makes this Pokemon very overpowered, and again, a lot of this is about mapping, and I think I have it pretty down pat of what we're going to do mapping-wise. Go ahead and go back to the main slide. I'm going to give a prediction. I believe we are going to beat the Elite Four under an hour. This would be the first Pokemon to accomplish this feat of beating the Elite Four under 1 hour. But I think this is a Pokemon to do. It's got great stats, it's fully evolved, and I think it's going to be able to do it without too much resistance. I don't think we'll have many resets along the way. And I think it's also going to do, by the way, that's the shiny version. I don't know if you saw that or not. We are not going to play as a shiny version. That really does deplete our stats. It really does make our stats bad. I think with this Pokemon, I think the shiny is like Grass or Dragon or something. It's not a great hidden power, and it really messes with our stats. So that's a prediction for the Elite Four. With Red, if I get this under an hour and a half, I will be tickled pink. I want to get a playthrough under an hour and a half. I think this is the Pokemon to do it. And I think with optimization, it's going to get done. So we're going to get this Pokemon done this week. And next week, we're going to have, it's going to be a struggle. We're going to start getting into some strugglesome Pokemon. We have back-to-back Pokemon that are really bad. So the next one we have to play through is Hoppip, which evolves in the Skiploom, which evolves in the Jumpluff. And then we have, actually, let me rephrase that. Apom isn't too bad. Apom will be decent. But then we have to play with Sunkern. And Sunkern and Sunflora is horrible. And we have Yanma is pretty bad. But I am very excited for Wooper. And for Quagshire, those look pretty fun. And then we have the 2 Evolutions from this game. So we got some good ones coming up. We got some pretty tough ones coming up too. There's some really, really bad grass types in this generation that we have to play with. But we got to get it done. And then we're going to optimize the fully evolved version to see how much better we can make this Pokemon. It's going to be a good time. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below, how you think Politoed will do. What any other strategy you think I should implement. Maybe you'll get it in there before I start this playthrough. Let me know. And the playthrough will be coming out this Friday. Let me know what you think. Have a good one, and I'll see you guys on Friday.